Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to throw a surprise 40th birthday party. Specifically, I'm showing you how I threw my husband's surprise party. It's funny because when I first met him, he always talked about his dad's 40th birthday and how it's such a big deal, and I knew that when his 40th birthday came, I was going to have to do it big and do an awesome job on it. So I started planning super early. I'm talking like 6 months early, which is way too early, but I have little ones and I knew that it would take a long time. I was gonna have to call a lot of people just to get the vendors and everything ready. So let's get started. The first thing I did was get the invite list together. It's so important to make sure you have that invite list, you have the right people on there. If you're not sure who to invite, call their best friend. They'll make sure they have the high school friends, they have the college friends, you have everyone on there. And then if you're not sure family-wise, ask the person's parents, and they can tell you whether to invite cousins, aunts and uncles, whomever. They'll really help you out there. So get that invite list together. I would keep it on an Excel spreadsheet. It just keeps it organized, clean, put first name, last name. We always do Mr. and Mrs. if it's a husband and wife, and then the last name. If it's a family, add that in there. And then once you have your invite list, you want to create your invite, your invitation. We love to order from Simply to Impress. Absolutely love them. I think they have the cutest invites. They have the cutest options to purchase. Just love them. This is Michael's invite. Super cute and adorable. How adorable is that? I'm going to go into the next thing, which goes along with Maker's Mark, but look how cute he looks there. I love that. And it just has RSVP, the address, where, the time and date, and then I put a little picture of our family, and then of course him eating ice cream, the ice cream bomb, which he loves. And then another thing with the invites, anytime I order cards from Simply to Impress or wherever, I always choose the glossy option. Now sometimes it is a little bit more expensive, but it just makes it look so much nicer, so much more high-end. Always go with the glossy finish. Looks so much better. It makes the picture look more crisp and nicer. Love it. And then for out-of-town guests, it's really great to include in your invite just some hotels and places they can stay, so accommodations. Another thing to do is call a hotel and get a special rate for your party and see if they will do that for you, so you can also include that and say, hey, we have a special rate if you're coming in from out of town. I would say to start sending, we sent out invites I think 4 to 6 weeks in advance, just because we were going to have people from out of town. So also make sure you send out invites early enough. You want to make sure that you pick a day that you think everyone will be able to come, so friends and family will be able to come, and specifically the person you're throwing the party for, you want to make sure that they are going to be able to be there. So pick a day that you think will work. Isn't during a holiday, isn't something special going on in the town that you're going to have it. You want to pick a venue. That is also very important. We just did it at our home. We're lucky enough that we have enough space to have it here at our house. So if you don't have enough space and you want to pick a restaurant or a special venue, you want to get that booked as well. The next thing is to figure out a theme. So you really want to think about the person you're throwing the party for. What do they love? Are they a partier? Are they not a partier? Do they have specific things they like? The theme that we threw for Michael's party was like a bourbon/Vegas theme, because he loves drinking bourbon. Also, bourbon is kind of part of the family, so his dad's cousin is married to Bill Samuels, so in a way it's Michael's uncle, which is awesome. So we did kind of like a Maker's Mark bourbon theme with a Vegas twist on it, because Michael loves gambling, he loves going to Vegas. So go with the theme, figure out a theme, and that's how you can really start planning the party and the decorations and the things that you're going to have there. The next thing, once you have the invites and your theme, you want to order that cake. I think it's important for a surprise party or a special birthday party to do a really neat, nice cake. So when we got married, we did a groom's cake that was in the shape of Kentucky, and it had bourbon on it. It had UK, which is UK basketball and football. Michael played football for University of Kentucky. And then we also did Keeneland. So I wanted to kind of recreate that cake. We did a 2-tier, which we could have done a little bit bigger, but we had other desserts for the party. And then another thing we did to add a little bit of a wow factor was we did the Vegas candles on there. You know, when you go to Vegas and they bring out the cakes and they have those big firework candles, we had those on there. Michael loved it. The guests thought it was so neat, and I ordered them from Amazon. They were super cheap. added a big wow factor. So I would say even if you're not doing a Vegas theme, totally order those candles because they're awesome. They add a wow factor and they're not expensive. Another thing that I think is very important is to make sure you do something special like dessert wise for the person you're throwing the party for. Michael absolutely loves ice cream and his favorite ice cream place is Grater's. So we actually called Grater's and asked them if we could order the tubs that they serve out of, and they said yes. So we ordered the massive tubs. We had 3 different flavors, had them in coolers. People could serve themselves. We had toppings with them. So we had everything from Reese's, Oreos, hot fudge, strawberry toppings, sprinkles. We had cones, bowls, you name it. The next thing to call and order is just something that's special to that person or to the theme that they would really enjoy. So we got a craps table because again, our theme was Vegas, and Michael's favorite thing when we go to Vegas or we go anywhere to gamble is to play at the craps table. I think he likes it because there's so many ways to win, and honestly, it is the gambler's edge. So you have the highest chance of winning at a craps table, and he loved it. He thought it was the neatest, exciting surprise that he's had, and all the guests enjoyed playing it. It gave them something to do, and it was something different and neat. So I always say when you're having a party, you always want a wow factor, and that was one of the wow factors. The next wow factor is because I knew he was going to want to party, and it would get the party going, and it would be kind of like a centerpiece for everything, was an ice luge. Now I know some people don't know what this is. I had a lot of people asking, what's an ice luge? Well, it is an ice sculpture. We did it with the 40. We had kind of like the Maker's Mark bourbon in there, and you actually put shots in the top of it and you take shots out of the bottom. So it goes through the ice luge and you can take shots. It's nuts, insane. People loved it. It got the party going. People were taking shots, getting a little crazy. So that was so much fun. And the next thing is, might quite possibly be the most important, was the food. So I called a catering company and I was planning on just getting it catered because I didn't want to have to deal with everything, deal with the food. However, it was so outrageously expensive, I kind of decided to nix it because they also were going to charge me for the chafing dishes. And I thought to myself, I don't want to rent a chafing dish when I could buy one. So I found chafing dishes that were so fancy, so gorgeous, for so inexpensive. I think they were $39 a piece, and I will link everything down below if you're interested in anything or want to purchase any of these items. But I found them for such a good price. I said, nope, I'm just gonna buy my own chafing dishes. And we throw parties all the time, so I knew I'd be able to use them at a later date. So I bought those, and then we just ordered barbecue. We love barbecue. You can end up getting a lot of meat, a lot of sides, and people are so well fed. It's like the perfect thing to do if you want to kind of do your own catering. We ordered all the meat from Blue Door, which is Michael's favorite restaurant. I'd also recommend in trying to get catering from the person's favorite food or favorite restaurant. We got brisket, smoked sausage, pulled pork, and then we got all our sides from City Barbecue, which is actually a chain in a lot of states, and they just have the best sides ever. So we had baked beans, mac and cheese, green beans, side salad, anything you could think of side-wise. It was amazing. It was awesome. People loved the food. And then we had a family friend do all the appetizers, which was perfect because you always want to be able to have finger foods and food that people can snack on if it's not time to eat or they don't want something heavy and full. She did everything from charcuterie tray, vegetables, fruit, shrimp cocktail. We also did hot browns, which is a Kentucky-based theme since we have people from out of town. Thought that would be really neat. Everyone loved it. I think the appetizers may have been more of a hit than the actual food, even though everyone loved both. Everything was so good, and that was just set out so people could go and get it whenever they want. Food's so important. The next thing, you always want to have music. So we're lucky enough that at our house we have speakers throughout the house. So speakers are outside, there are speakers inside, and it's all linked to one system. So I just had a playlist, and you want to have music for the beginning of the night that's kind of more slow that you can ease into, and then you want to have music that gets more for the party theme that's a little bit faster you can dance to, and you also want to have songs that you know the person you're throwing the party for will love. Now, if you don't have a sound system or a speaker system, call a friend that has a computer that they can play from or that you know has good music, or you can call a DJ, reserve a DJ, have them come out, play music, tell them what you're looking for. Another route you can go, we went to another surprise 40th birthday party this year, and they did a live band, which is really neat. So if you want something a little bit more high-end, a little bit more classy, go with the live band. I had thought about doing a live band, but it is expensive. And I knew that I wanted specific songs to be able to dance to and party to, so we just ended up going the route of having our own music. The next thing you want to do, you have to decide if it's going to be a party where you're going to have alcohol. And if you are going to have alcohol, I would recommend getting bartenders. We had 2 bartenders. You can probably call almost anyone in your city or state. A lot of times caterers will do bartending, so get those bartenders lined up and then figure out what kind of drinks you want to have. We did do 2 signature drinks. So we did a Kentucky Mule, which went over insanely well. We did the little Moscow Mule cups, and then we also did a watermelon margarita, which was just used fresh watermelon. It was so good. Everyone loved both, so it was kind of a mix of like fresh and fruity, and then another one was kind of heavy and very strong. But both drinks went over really well. I would recommend doing some type of signature drink that's special to the person you're throwing the party for, or the theme. Had beer and wine and any type of hard liquor with mixers. You can ask your bartender what kind of mixers they recommend. A lot of times they'll tell you that, what garnishes to have, etc. They'll help you there. Another thing I would recommend is if you're going to have a bar set up, I would also have, we use just I think it's called a cow trough. It's that big silver tub, and we put massive amounts of ice with all the beer in there, soft drinks, water, etc. in there. And then another thing, make sure you have enough ice. No one wants to do an ice run. You're going to need tons of ice and coolers when you're making drinks, if it's during the summer. So just make sure you have enough ice. The next thing is, it was supposed to rain when we were having the party, so we called a company that does tents and tables and all the linens. So we did order a tent, because in between our sunroom and our garage is this like open area, so we put a tent in between there, and we also did a chandelier in there, which made it very classy. So adding a chandelier to a tent really adds up the glam factor, which we kind of were also going with the country chic theme, so adding chandelier to the tent was really neat. We got extra tables and chairs, rented those just so we would have extra space, and the linens to just, you know, make it a little more dressy, classy. Now, we did set up stuff in the garage because I was worried it was going to rain, so we did some pipe and drape. So if you are going to do something indoors, say in a garage, partially because you think it's going to rain, I would recommend in getting pipe and drape, which will hide, you know, just the walls and make it feel like a real space. We put down a rug in the garage. We also hung some chandeliers in the garage, which was really neat, added another wow factor. And going into that lighting, so if you can, we were going to hang chandeliers outside, but we were scared it was going to rain. That is really neat. You can get plug-in chandeliers. I'll link the ones I got down below. And then we also did string strand lights. So a lot of times you'll see those at restaurants that are outdoors. Those string and strand lights are so neat for outdoors. Even indoors they look really neat, but I love them for outdoors to add that country chic, a little bit of fancy, a little bit of lighting outside. And then to decorate the tables and centerpieces, this is going to be, I think, one of the biggest wow factors is flowers. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, a surprise 40th or any surprise party, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We got all of our flowers for our wedding from Sam's Club, and I kid you not, they have the most gorgeous flowers for hardly anything. We did hydrangeas and roses for the party, and what I will say is you need to get them in like 2 days before, and you set them in massive buckets of water so they can kind of bloom. They haven't bloomed all the way. They'll bloom by then, and then the night before, set up all your flowers and arrangements. And you just set them on the tables, on your centerpieces, and it will make the party look so beautiful and elegant and classy. Even if you're trying to go for a crazy party, it just is another wow factor. People are like, oh my gosh, look at those flowers. And we ordered all of our flowers, I think, for like $150. It was crazy, it was nuts, but it's worth it. It adds that wow factor. Absolutely loved it. And then we also did burlap. So if you're going for the country chic theme, figure out what your theme is and add in something. We added burlap and it looked gorgeous. So we put burlap around the ice luge table. We did table runners around our round tables that we rented, and then put our centerpieces in the middle. We also did those wood logs as the middle of the centerpiece where we put our flowers, so that added kind of a country chic theme. So my biggest thing is just to make sure you're planning everything in advance. Make sure you have everyone lined up, you have everything ready to go for that day. I would not wait like a couple weeks before. And the most important thing is just have fun the day of, so the person you're throwing the party for can tell that you're excited, they get excited, the guests get excited, and just have fun with it, have fun with the guests. So that is how you throw a surprise 40th birthday party. You can honestly do this for almost any party. It doesn't have to be a surprise, or it doesn't have to be a 40th. It can be any year, any surprise. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.